everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa and today I have a little bit of a different video for you guys. This is normally a kind of crafty, crochet, whatever you want to call it, artsy fartsy channel. But today I wanted to talk about something that I've never really discussed with other people. So why not share it to the whole internet? For example, I've known my husband for 8 years and I only just told him about this sensation like a few weeks ago and he was like, what are you talking about? So I truly have never really spoken about this to anybody before. You clicked on this video, you know that we're talking about synesthesia today. I also would just like to say that I am not an expert on synesthesia. These are purely my own experiences, how I picture things. Probably not how you picture things or other people picture things, but it's the general idea. I'm not an expert in the field. Somebody, if one of you watching are and you want to correct me, please by all means do. I'm just kind of talking off of my own experience. I'm not a professional researcher or anything like that. So wanted to put that disclaimer out there. So when a lot of people think of synesthesia, you think of the kind where you hear music and you see colors. I do not have that kind of synesthesia. I really wish I did because I am a musician. I play in a band. We're called Tiny Blue Ghost. But that's not the only kind out there. In fact, let's break down a little bit what synesthesia actually is in the first place. Synesthesia basically is when you have two different senses conflating together to trigger a different response. And that's why people are able to see things when they hear things or taste something or whatever it may be. The kind that I have is called grapheme color synesthesia, which is when my brain assigns colors to numerical values. Hello. Now, these are set colors. They have always been there. I just never knew that there was a term for it, I guess. A color is assigned to a single digit number, and then anything beyond that is a combination of the two. So just to go over what that looks like, the number 1 is pretty boring. It's baseline. It's usually black or a deep gray. The number 2 is red. 3 is pink. 4 is like a goldenrod yellow. 5 is this really pretty medium blue. 6 is orange. 7 is purple. 8 is a deep green. 9 is a warm brown. And 0 is a light gray. So these are just single digits. Anything beyond that is just simply a combination of both of them. So let's say you have the number 78. That appears as purple, green. Same way a entire grouping of numbers. So especially when talking about age, somebody tells me that they're in their 60s, I think of the color orange. Someone's in their 20s, I think of red. So on and so forth. I think you catch on to the idea. Now it's interesting because when it comes to the single digit numbers for me, they appear as just the whole color, but once it gets into combining them, they kind of have like a black spine, I guess. There's like a stroke and then it's like a big aura of the color is the best way that I can describe it, and I will do my best to visualize it for you guys here on the screen. Now, this is really just with numbers for me. The alphabet is kind of weird. Sometimes there's color assigned to it. If anything, more times an entire word will have a color. Like the word cat, for example, appears yellow to me. Dog is blue. I don't make up the rules. I don't know why it appears that way, but that's just how it is. Okay, editing Marissa here to say that the alphabet thing is a little bit untrue. I had band practice last night and the chords that I had written down for a song we were practicing very much had color to them. We're actually practicing a cover set for Halloween this year. We're going to be The Cure. So these are the chords for Friday I'm in Love, and this is what they appeared like for me. It does show up for the alphabet. I guess it just kind of depends in the context. There's a lot of speculation as to why this happens, and a lot of researchers think that it has to do with something you were exposed to as a kid, such as like fridge magnets, for example, being in different colors. Your brain just kind of assigns that. I think maybe it was Sesame Street or something. I can't help but wonder if maybe that has something to do with it, like a big, you know, number 8 was this color or whatever. Count Von Count, I'm looking at you. It's this really interesting thing that I've had for my whole life. I just never knew that there was a word for it. I just thought it was like a weird thing that my brain just did. I am an artist, obviously, And I just thought that was like my weird artsy brain just kind of, yeah, sure, let's add a color to the number 5. Why not? But it's cool because it makes me really good at remembering dates. And I have an uncanny knack for just kind of being able to pull out a random date or someone's birthday. And obviously I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm very forgetful with different things, but that's for other reasons. When I think of my birthday, for example, I think of orange because 6 is orange. Also, months appear in colors for me. I'll get to that in a second. The whole thing, like when I think of dates have that kind of like black stroke in the middle and then like the smear of the color like over it. Now, as I was doing my research on this last night at 2 a.m., super early in the evening, as I was doing research for this video, I came across an image that almost made me like physically shout because I discovered that I actually have a second form of synesthesia. And it was very validating because I really thought that this was just a bizarre thing that my brain also did. This one is called Spatial Sequence Synesthesia. Say that 3 times fast. And basically the way that your brain visualizes numerical values or timelines, anything with time or just data, I guess, has a certain layout or like physical space to it. Some people see it more as like a 3D kind of thing where they look this way and they see, I don't know, the month of June or whatever, or it's kind of like a weird layout on the paper. So I came across an image last night of somebody kind of charting out how they view months, how they view time, how they view age. And it was so similar to how I also view things. And I just never thought that there was like a term for it. This is another example of maybe being exposed to something as a kid, like seeing something in the classroom. Maybe the months were arranged a certain way on the bulletin board, which I think is why I picture months the way that I do, which I'll get to in a second. But it's like a really interesting thing where you just feel the information in different parts. So to the best of my ability, I am going to show here what the months look like when I visualize them. You'll see that January to May is in the top line. June kind of starts almost, it's kind of like by February on the next line, and it goes to August. And then once you hit September, it starts to dip down into like a little staircase kind of situation with December being at the bottom. Again, no idea why my brain pictures the information like that. That's just how it is. When I think of the alphabet, that's totally linear. The alphabet isn't as resonant to me in both forms of synesthesia that I have, but that's linear. Numbers are usually linear, but I will say, say you're talking about the number 100 and then you mention 1,000. 1,000 will appear like stacked on top of it, kind of like how the money appears on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where it just keeps going up. That's kind of how numbers appear once they start getting really tall. Time to me appears in a circle, basically like what an analog clock looks like. So if it's 9 a.m., it's in the far left, noon is directly above, and so on and so forth. Days of the week are another thing that I think of where it kind of starts with Sunday and goes to Saturday, and then once it gets to Sunday again, everything kind of shifts over a little bit. So it's really weird to discover this about yourself while having recently discovered the other form about yourself and realizing that this is all a part of synesthesia. So you're probably wondering if this gives me any advantages on things. Not really. I mean, like I said before, I'm good at remembering birthdays. It does not make me good at math. I am bad at math because I'm bad at math itself. I can remember certain numbers from things, but no, this does not make me good at math. Am I very punctual and good with my time management? No, because I have ADHD. I always like to make the joke that I was actually born 2 weeks late, and that just set the precedent for the rest of my life where I'm just late to everything. So no, I am not a punctual person. They're not related at all. I wanted to come on here and talk about this because you really do just hear about the music and color version of synesthesia, but there's a lot more out there. And I feel like by talking about it, maybe one of you will discover, oh, I also picture the months in a circle, or this looks weird in my brain, or something like that. It's such a cool thing. It may be useless in the long run, but I think that's like it's a good icebreaker. If somebody's like, tell me a fun fact about yourself, you can be like, Monday looks pink. Something like that, which it does. Okay, I think that's all for today's video. I'm gonna make this short and sweet because I don't really have much more to add to this. I just really wanted to talk about this really cool neurological thing that my brain does. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. I might do more like animated videos like this, depending on the topic, and see how this goes. But I usually do crochet content, art in general, but usually crochet. So if that's your thing, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.